Hey guys, welcome to another driving test route video, and this is for Tottenham driving test route episode number 2. So if you haven't watched the first episode yet, then click the link above or look in the playlist. So let's get straight to the video. Stuff. So the time is 12:57 on a Saturday. So this is what the traffic condition would look like on a day like today at this time, and it could be worse because of the match. All right, so we are turning left at the junction. All right, so we're turning left ahead. Now don't forget, remember the new rule: if these pedestrians are at the junction, it is definitely safe at this time, so we should be stopping for them. But I'm here at the junction, but they're not at the junction yet, so there's no point going there and stopping there because they're not there yet. But keep in mind that this is always if it is safe, or whatever it is you do. See, this is the problem. They are changing all of these roads. Okay, watch that black car. There you go. Make sure. So, it says bus gate, but the sign is wiped off for now, so I'm going to go through it. So this means that some of these roads are not going to be used anymore by examiners, because as you can see, they are being closed off. So I can see cars are still going through. That's because it's probably not active yet. So for now, we are okay. But in the future, it would only be for buses only at the end of that road. At the roundabout ahead, the driver on the opposite direction turning to my left signaled late after entering the roundabout, misleading me to think that he was going straight ahead. And this is what could happen when you signal late, especially when you're turning right. And if you remember your approach to junctions, you should be signaling before you actually get to the junction. So you should be on your approach to it, not when you get there, not when you enter into the junction. Because at the roundabout, people will be looking out for your signal earlier on before you actually get to that junction at the roundabout. So keep this in mind. Don't let your signal mislead people, or don't let your lack of signal mislead people at the roundabout to think that you're continuing straight. And to think that one of my learners actually failed at this same roundabout 2 years ago, turning right just exactly where I have turned to. So Leonard signaled right to turn right as approaching the roundabout. Now when he went into the roundabout, steers left to go around the circle, and that cancelled the signal because of that left steering. Now he forgot to turn the signal back on, and that misled the driver on the opposite direction and pushes out, and examiner went for the brake. So always turn that signal back on when it gets cancelled. Now I have decided to keep my speed on the screen so that you can have an idea of roughly what kind of speed I'm doing at certain places, because I have noticed that sometimes Learning drivers are so worried about, not being failed for driving too slow, that you're now driving too fast in a situation that you're actually supposed to just reduce speed to deal with that situation. So keep that in mind. Look at the speed in certain situations that I'm doing so that you have an idea what to be doing and not worry too much about, chasing up the maximum speed limit for the road, because sometimes it is not even safe to be doing the maximum speed limit shown on the sign. Although this is a single lane, but I have positioned well to my right, which gives enough space to the left to allow those turning left to be able to join the queue if they wish to. But don't confuse yourself up. This is a single lane. So if you was to be positioned more into the center of that lane, it is not the end of the world. But it's always a good thing to position well, especially in situations where or if there is traffic at this junction for those going straight ahead. You want to try and ease off the burden so that those turning left are able to continue moving in their own direction. Same thing as if you were turning left and there were people going straight and there's traffic for those turning left. If you're positioned well, that also would help those going straight ahead. So it's just, general good practice on the road. But be very aware of the vehicle on your left or around you, because if that space is as it is and the vehicle is a bigger vehicle, we might be very close to each other, and you want to be aware of that so that you know how to deal with it. If you're going to ease off your gas or hold up for the other car to move on first, or if you're going to need to increase speed to move on. So it's very important to be aware of these things and prepare yourself. So as you come onto this point on the road, remain on the left. You're not actually joining the dual carriageway. Back onto 30. And then we're going to turn left at the next traffic light. So if you're doing your test while this road work is still going on, remember, don't forget this temporary light here. It's very, very, very easy to forget once you stop for pedestrian at the zebra crossing and then they go through, you just drive off. So remember to look out. Right. So that bus driver has given me way there, but I'm not so sure if that space is good enough for me. So that's why I decided to wait on that side there. So this is what you got to be doing during your test. Don't take opportunity just because someone is giving you way. Remind yourself, ask yourself, can your vehicle fit into that space safely? Or can you fit your vehicle safely through that space? Honestly, I haven't seen anything tricky so far. It's mostly a matter of observation, looking out for the signs, dealing with people on the road. Oh, okay. No right turn here. Satnav wants us to turn right. So another route disrupted. So I'm gonna have to use this to go all the way to A10, 10, turn right, use Edmonton Roundabout to turn left. So that's what I'm gonna do. So if it was a test, if it was on the test and there was no road work here, then you would obviously go right and follow the road around back onto A1010. So yeah, it's not a big deal. So this is why you've got to be looking out for road signs. So eventually, drivers behind start to get impatient with the traffic light, and then they start to honk their horn, expecting me to go. Now, in situations like this, I'm not so sure yet if the light is actually faulty or if you just need to wait a bit longer. So I would ignore those honk at first. But then later on, I decide to move on because at that point, it seemed to me like if the light somehow could be faulty. But then remember, when you go through this kind of situation on a normal daily life, approach it very, very cautiously, gently, and safely. Because if it is not working, then you might just be having to meet up with other drivers trying to get through it as well. So approach carefully. So at this point, I roll forward a little bit. Maybe it might just be the sensor that needs to be triggered, but that doesn't seem to do the job. So the question is, what do you do in this situation? Just got to be patient, wait some few more minutes and see. Because sometimes this light can be faulty and you can never know. But for now, all we just do is wait. If this was your test, you're going to have to just wait. The examiner would make the decision. So eventually you're going to have impatient drivers like that who would start beeping. But what can I do? I'll give a few more minutes. Maybe 1 or 2 more minutes. Now, the problem I often have with situations like this is that a driver is sitting behind me, honking and expecting me to move forward. But clearly, this driver could actually go around me if he or she was that desperate to go. Now, am I trying to be made the scapegoat here or what? And this is why you should not be jumping the gun. Because sometimes people are just waiting for someone to take the lead so that they can go and you become the example if something goes wrong. So we'll give it 1 more minute, and if it doesn't change, we're gonna have to go through safely and gently. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So now we can go after this. Let's give them time to go through. And then now we can go through now. So, but remember, don't get yourself bullied into situations like this if you were to be driving on a normal day, because at the end of the day, if you get a ticket for red light in that situation, you wouldn't want it. Now, the only defense I'm going to have there would be the fact that I've waited for as long as I could reasonably wait. And with that time spent sitting there, the only explanation could be possibly that that light is not working or is faulty. So at least you've got a defense rather than you wait there for a minute and jump. Because sometimes traffic lights, you have changing priorities. So which means you might end up staying at a red light longer than the usual. But when that's the case, many signals would have the sign there to say there's change of priority or something like that. But don't rush into this kind of situation. So this is the road we should have come in through in the first episode of the route, if you watch episode 1, there was a road that had no close. It was this one. Okay.
Excuse me, I think one of the lights is not working at that junction.
Deep. This is the problem with these temporary lights. Now it seems like they have no clue that light is not working down there. This is not working either. Alright, so we're going to join Edmonton Green. So here is a one-way, and that was the other road, and right there is the road after the police station in Route 1, where we should have turned left. So for the time being, I'm sure examiners will take some of the routes, but then they would avoid those roads with the closures in that. But some section of the routes would still be used. So we are back onto Edmonton Green. So at the roundabout ahead, we're going to take the left, and that's going to put us back on course. Okay, bus is at the bus stop, still loading. So check your mirror, come past it, and left signal to turn left at the roundabout. So don't forget, look out for cyclists at this roundabout, and try not to block the cycle lane, even though I have done that. Now, these are the normal things that can happen on a test, which makes tests difficult because there's so much going through your mind, of course. So it is very easy to make some mistakes that normally you want to avoid. So as you can see, we're back on course now. I'm going to turn left. So when the 20s are now, that road I just left is 30, but you can barely do over 20 there because of how busy the road is, and then you got cars parked everywhere. So again, remind yourself, or let this remind you, that it's not about the number, it is about how safe it is. Okay. That's a confusing one. Now, if I didn't look at the satnav, I would have gone that way. But I know that if I went that way, that would be a sharp left. So look at your satnav. It is very important. And you've got to go left here. And then left. Very weird. Okay. And then at the mini roundabout, we are turning right. Access to A1010 via Park Road is closed. Wow. Okay, but we're going towards Victoria Road. Okay. New road layout ahead. I guess it would be here. So as you can see, most of these roads, you have to take your time. Don't rush. So here we're going to go left and then right. So make sure when you go left, go straight into the right lane and look out for this traffic light. It's filtered, so green for those going left, but if you're turning right, as in this case, it's not green until now. And then keep left. And then we're turning left. So again, remember, this is just a bend, so you really don't need to signal. But if you do, not the end of the world, as long as it doesn't confuse anyone, which in this case it shouldn't confuse anyone. Did I miss that left turn? Yes. So I should have taken a left turn there, so I wasn't looking at the sat nav. So I am going to pull up on the left here, and I would do a U-turn. So I could have taken a right turn here, but I wanted to go past it so that I can turn back around and come back exactly the way I should have done it in the first place. 5 miles? What is going on? So here, use the parking bay if there are oncoming vehicles, but keep an eye on pedestrians on the pavement. Don't drive too close to them. Okay, we've got a disabled person ahead. Okay, there we go. So don't let that situation there force you into unsafe decision. You have to prioritize that disabled person over that oncoming vehicle. You've got to keep that in mind. This is where you have to make a very quick and safe decision. Which one are you going to prioritize? The roundabout, going straight. Now this is a weird mini roundabout, but keep it in mind, if you don't know, that's a roundabout there. Okay. Now, Tottenham test route, there are only 6 of them actually. I don't know if that's all, but that is what is on route lead. I'm assuming really, yeah, that shouldn't be much because you've got Wood Green Test Center just around the corner as well. So yeah, I'm hoping I'll do 3 today. So I'll be doing 1 more after this one. And in the next visit, we shall finish Tottenham. Okay. Now here you cannot clearly go fully over this paint, so just approach to the middle of it and then drive through on top of it through the rest. So I'll signal left here just to let drivers who are waiting at junction know that you're exiting into this route and they can continue. For that mini roundabout we just crossed, I would suggest you speak to your instructor about that so that they will inform you on examiner's opinion about that particular roundabout. Because if you want to go around that roundabout without going over the paint, you're gonna have to drop that speed a lot more. Now, if you looked at my speed at that point, I went as low as just about 9 miles an hour. And I believe you'd have to be at about 5 miles an hour or less to be able to go around that paint without climbing over it, which would really disrupt the flow of traffic, especially for those going straight ahead. And so yeah, but speak to your instructor on that, see what they say with their experience with learners going through that mini roundabout, then they can advise you accordingly. But I have done what I did there based on my experience with many other test centers with such mini roundabouts. We've got one as such in Heifer Green. We've got one in Bromley. We've also got a couple of them outside of London. Sheffield is one. So when I say what I say, that's based on my experience. This is what I'm saying. Speak to your instructors. You can show them this video and then they can give their opinion on that particular point. So yeah, that's the end of the test route. And I hope that you find this useful. Don't forget, guys, please, if you find this helpful, click the like button. That would really help the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And put the notification bell on so that you can be informed when I post new videos. So yep, I'm going to be dropping a few more routes for Tottenham, hopefully before the end of this year, so which is going to be in the next couple of weeks. So yep, if you've got any question whatsoever actually as well, yep, leave a comment below and I would get to them. So for the time being, have a wonderful Christmas. Best of luck with your driving lessons, and if you've got your test before the end of the year, good luck, all the best with your driving test. So I'll see you in the next video. Stay blessed. Peace.